This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Thank you very much, Renelle. Indeed, this is Quality Hang. Proud to be a part of the Bay Area Sports Collective. I am Rod Brooks, and as always, I am joined on this broadcasting adventure by my partner, my homie, my friend. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, dog? Happy Friday.
Yeah, man, it is Friday. I'm very happy about it. Sitting here. You ever watch Mad Men?
I did not. We were just having a discussion off the air about a certain sitcom that
Yeah.
But about shows that we didn't bang with. Mad Men absolutely did not bang with it.
Yeah, I caught on to Mad Men late,
Uh-huh.
and so I got into it like the last 4 seasons. Pretty good. So I went back to just start rewatching it. And for those of you who know and who actually watched that show, Pete Campbell, trash from day one. Who knew? Who knew?
I love it when TV characters are so repulsive that people make them out to be a real person because they're just that repulsive.
Yeah, goodness gracious. And there's always somebody like that. Every couple of years is one where you go, no, motherfucker got to die.
Well, you know who that was for me in The Wire? It was Stringer Bell. Couldn't stand him.
So you wanted Stringer to die?
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
funny.
Oh, yeah. No, when he got clapped in that abandoned building by My Brother Moves On, I was like, yeah, that's the way. For a show that didn't give us a nice, tidy ending, it left a lot of things just sort of out there. Some of the bad guys won, some of the good guys lost. Some of the loose ends were left to be loose ends.
Like
you did get some closure with that Stringer Bell thing. And like I said, when he got that cap from Brother Moves On, I was like, yeah, you had that coming, sucker. Boy, we got a lot to get into.
Happy
Stringer,
by the way.
Do what?
Pure Stringer, by the way. He's still trying to negotiate his way out of it.
Yeah, to the end. And then he negotiated that bullet. That bullet.
Spoiler alert.
Into his backside. Yeah, if you haven't seen it by now, you were probably
17 years. You should have seen it.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's the greatest TV show of all time. You damn sure should have seen it. But happy Friday. Happy Memorial Day weekend. And as always, we get started with Quality Hang. We are proud to say that we are sponsored by the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from, and they all give it to you really, really good. Great food, great craft beer selection, and also great live entertainment, live music at all 3 venues in Novato, in Sonoma, and in Sebastopol. So to see what all 3 of those venues have coming up live music-wise, make sure you check them out online at hopmonk.com. We get started with the NBA playoffs. Just finished game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and it was, well, just like game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Indiana Pacers are an offensive juggernaut, 114-109, a closer game, Marcus, game 2 of this series. But to me, it's the same thing with the Indiana Pacers. Just way too much. Wait for it. Offensive pace. Too much offense for the Indiana or too much offense for the New York Knicks, who are being pushed to the brink by the Pacers and their offense, and also running out of gas. Pacers shot 52% from the field tonight. You go back to game 1, where it was tight there for a while, and then in the fourth quarter, Aaron Nesmith took over and had 20 points in that legendary fourth quarter in game 1. Didn't necessarily have that, but the Pacers did have another guy to take over, and it wasn't Tyrese Halliburton. Pascal Siakam. Woo! He had 39 points tonight. You just get to, and I said this last night, there's just too many dudes on that Pacers squad that can get buckets, and you just wait for your closer, your best player, and Halliburton to show up. It was Siakam with 39 points tonight. Turner had 16 points. Nembhard had 12. Nesmith had 12. TJ McConnell came off the bench with 10. Tyrese Halliburton, he was just a regular Marcus, 5 of 16, 3 of 10 from the three-point line for 14 points. He didn't have his best game. But the Indiana Pacers are so good offensively, and the Knicks are so worn down to a nub, but as a collective, that the Pacers they just have too many guys who can do too many good things with the basketball offensively for the New York Knicks to survive. And right now they are staring down the barrel of an 0-2 hole, and I don't know how they come back from it.
Yeah, Siakam blew up. I don't know what got into him or whatever, but it
Well, he had a terrible game one.
Yeah, that helps. Because you feel like you got to come back and prove something. But nonetheless, I'm really the Knicks just. I don't know what it is. Yes, they're tired, but I watched the end of that game, and they still had a chance to win that game down to the last 40 seconds. And that last shot by our guy
Jalen Brunson
was god awful decision making, 100% terrible. In a game like that where you need a good shot, that's the shot you take. I mean, come on, man. You're supposed to be a leader. You're supposed to be the guy making the right decision. That was not the right decision.
What's the saying? And it's absolutely true. Fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that Jalen Brunson was being cowardly in that regard, but what fatigue definitely does, it will mess with your decision-making ability. It will make you do things that you would not normally do just because you're dog-ass tired. And again, we talked about this yesterday. With the way the Knicks have their rotation, they played 8 games tonight. Cameron Payne came in for 10 minutes and didn't score a point. But it's a 7-man rotation for the Indiana Pacers. For the New York Knicks, and they've been running that 7-man rotation basically for the entirety of the season. Definitely now that they've gotten to the postseason, and the numbers just don't add up. The Pacers can go 10 deep. And they had 5 guys today in double figures. The New York Knicks, once again, going with 7, 7.5, 8 guys. And like I said, the numbers just don't add up in that regard. So, the Knicks, I mean, clearly what they've shown is they've got heart, they've got fight, but that's only going to take you so far. The NBA is a talent-based league. And right now, the Indiana Pacers, from an offensive standpoint, have just way more talent than the New York Knicks.
Yeah, I don't know what they can do other than play the game they played tonight and hopefully get greater contributions from the rest of the team outside Jalen Brunson. I mean, he's great, but he's not that yet.
Well, but what they have to do is they have to find a way to slow the Pacers down offensively. If you're letting them shoot 52% and 43% from 3, you're gonna get cooked.
Yeah, what you're learning from learning more and more. And the NBA has changed in that Tom Thibodeau clearly is kind of an old school coach. He got the old school mentality. You're going to tighten up the leash in the playoffs. But we have seen this happen, and maybe this is initiated with the Golden State Warriors whole what is it? Safety in numbers or something.
Strength in numbers.
Strength in numbers with that team, that first championship team. Teams are going 9-10 deep now.
Yeah.
9-10 deep. That 7-man rotation, that's not getting it to you anymore.
But let's look at what the Knicks have coming off the bench. Mitchell Robinson is a liability.
Mm-hmm.
The Pacers very smartly and rightfully, before you got to 2 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, they went to the old hack-a-shack, and they did it on Mitchell Robinson. Now, he hit 1 free throw, or he went 2 for 4 from the free throw line, but that's exactly what Indiana wants. Mitchell Robinson, he's giving you 29 minutes. He's only giving you 6 points. Now, you get 9 rebounds out of him, and that's nothing to sneeze at. But if you're trying to keep up offensively with a Pacers squad that is in full bloom offensively, Mitchell Robinson isn't giving you enough for the Knicks. Miles McBride, the other guy off the bench, 25 minutes and change. He only had 5 points. And as I mentioned, Cameron Payne, 10 minutes, nothing. 0 for 3, 0 for 2 from behind 3-point line, and he didn't even get to the free throw line. So I think for the Knicks, again, the numbers are conspiring against them.
Yep.
They just don't have enough dudes. They don't. And what the Pacers are bringing offensively with the amount of dudes that they have who can do so many good things with the basketball, OKC is on the other side defensively, how they have so many dudes who can do so many things and guard so many different guys defensively. OKC outscored Minnesota 70-40 in the second half of game 1, a game in which they won. Last night, OKC goes up 2-0 in the Western Conference Finals. They held Minnesota in the second half to 2 of 15 from the 3-point line. Minnesota Timberwolves. And if you've been hanging out with us here on Quality Hang since we started at the beginning of the playoffs, right at the beginning of the playoffs, we hipped you on to the fact that the Minnesota Timberwolves were the second best three-point shooting team in the Western Conference, a tenth of a percentage point behind the Phoenix Suns. The Minnesota Timberwolves, Warrior fans, as you know, can shoot that thing from three. For OKC to choke him out behind the three-point line at 2 of 15 in the second half, and also for OKC to get 22 points off of 14 Minnesota turnovers, you might not like it because you don't have big market teams. You might not like it because it's OKC and Indiana. These are the two best basketball teams on the planet. Indiana's the best offensive team on the planet right now. OKC is the best defensive team on the planet right now. And while I want both markets of these conference championships to go to 6-7 games because I love hoop, I cannot wait to see OKC and Indiana in the NBA Finals because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing that Cleveland isn't here because honestly, the games between Cleveland and OKC, the best games I watched all year. Watching those two play each other during the regular season, the best games I watched all year. So,
well, I think you're gonna get 7 good games out of OKC and Indiana.
I mean, it could be, or it could just be an OKC sweep.
No. Indiana's got too much offensively for them to get run out the gym 4 straight times.
Here's what concerns me with Indiana. They are not great defensively, and they get behind a lot.
That is true.
It's been their hallmark all year long to make up these big leads. I don't think they're going to be able to do that against OKC.
So are you telling me that in this hypothetical yet entirely possible NBA Finals matchup between OKC and Indiana, are you telling me it would be bad for Indiana to get down big in the fourth quarter with about 2 minutes left because they're not going to get bailed out by Andrew Nembhard dropping 20 on this OKC defensive team that just absolutely chokes you out? Is that what you're saying to me, Marcus? I'm
not even saying that. I'm just saying you may want to think twice.
Now, man, listen, this OKC team defensively is the real deal. They forced OKC in these playoffs so far 91 turnovers. That's the most by a team in a playoff run in NBA history. And as I mentioned, they got 22 points, OKC did, off of 14 Minnesota turnovers last night. And offense wins games, defense wins championships.
Minnesota is a team that will turn it over. I mean, even against the Warriors, they had a bunch of turnovers. The Warriors just couldn't capitalize. But we'll see what happens.
Pacers only turned the ball over 10 times tonight.
I mean, that is great, and that's what might keep them in the game against a team like OKC.
Because listen, the more possessions the Pacers have, the worse it is for you. That's a problem.
Listen, I don't think OKC's offense is slouchy. So
no, not at all, not by any stretch.
Yeah, I think that if there's going to be any blowouts, it's going to be OKC blowing out Indiana.
Oh boy, I just can't see any blowouts. I mean, maybe I'm hyping it up.
Anybody.
Maybe I'm hyping it up because it's recency bias here, watching the game last night and just watching the Pacers again, finishing up, beating the Knicks in game 2 of the East Finals, 114 and 106. I mean, I just see these teams not necessarily evenly matched, but with what they're so good at both of the important disciplines in basketball. I'm just, how often do you get, hey man, the best offensive team and the best defensive team going at it? I mean, once you get to the finals, you're pretty good offensively, or you're pretty good defensively, or if you're really good in one area and you're so in another. I'm not saying that these teams are perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I just like that this is like a boxing match. Styles make fights. This is going to be a pretty good fight when you got one team that can put the ball in the basket, doesn't necessarily turn the ball over in the Pacers, and another team that is good offensively, but they get after that ass defensively in OKC. I'm just jacked about it. So
if we get to that point, it definitely should be a good series. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Nope, should be a lot of fun. By the way, Steph Curry, a bit of news, was named to All NBA second team. So,
Again,
congratulations to him. And of
how many is
course,
that total for him?
gosh, I don't know.
11, 10?
I mean, it's a lot. Yeah, you put it this way: you're going to need the vast majority of the fingers you have on both hands to get an accurate count. So yeah, that's where I'm going with that. Let's get into some other stuff here. We talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Because it was the news that the Tush Push lives to push another day, as there were not enough votes by the member NFL teams to get rid of the Tush Push. You need 24 out of 32. Only 22 votes were gathered in this quest by the Packers, and more to the point, the Cowboys, and I'll get to them in just a second, to have the Tush Push eliminated. Well, Roger Goodell said today, this week's ownership meetings, for those who are not watching Quality Hang, if you're listening to us, that the league will continue to study the Tush Push. And in this Pro Football Talk tweet that we have up here on the screen, they editorialize, and Marcus, I think it's a correct editorialization. Sure, we'll go with that. They say that, in other words, we, the league, will make another run at killing it next year. And we talked about this yesterday. You said it, that they were going to make another run at trying to kill this thing next year. And you're absolutely right that they're going to give it a shot.
It doesn't make any sense. I really would like to understand the hatred for the Tush Push. I don't understand it. I don't know why they're so bothered by it. It's not like there haven't been other plays. I don't get it. I don't get it. And maybe you have some theory, but I don't understand the big deal behind it.
Well, like I said last night, to me, the problem is that it can't be stopped. And the team that is the best in the NFL right now, the Eagles, are the number one practitioners of the Tush Push. They do it better than anybody. You can't stop it. Other teams try it, and they look really bad doing it. So, the NFL is never not going to be accused of not being a part of groupthink. And if there's a problem with it, the league tends to get together and tries to solve that problem by banning it. But for me, as a football fan, at some point in time, you have to allow the game to be physical. And while you don't want people just getting blown up in the open field and helmets flying off, and you don't want the money boys, the quarterbacks, getting hurt, to me, leave a certain amount of physical football for the trenches. And if 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 can be contested by big dudes in a small space, just trying to outmuscle each other, then allow that to happen. Okay, it sucks that the Eagles are really good at it, because I have no love for the Eagles. But if they can do it, you can do it. So to me, just allow 4th and goal, 3rd and goal, 3rd and short, 4th and short. Allow physical football to take place, because we've removed physicality. Again, I hate to use that word, but damn it, it fits so much. We've removed physicality from the game. Well, just let us have it in short yardage situations, and you can 7-on-7 football as they have in other places. But here's why, Marcus, the Tush Push is being banned, or they want to try and get rid of it. This is a power struggle between two of the most powerful owners in the NFL. Jeffrey Lurie, who is the owner of the best team in football, the Philadelphia Eagles. He's a big, powerful owner. He's a money guy. He's one of the dudes who, when he walks into an owner's meeting, along with Robert Kraft, along with Ziggy Wilf, the owner of the Vikings, and along with Jerry Jones, you stand up, you pay attention, because those dudes are running things and have been running things. It's a power struggle between Jeffrey Lurie of the Eagles and Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones wants this thing gone, okay? He absolutely wants it gone. And Jerry Jones is still the most powerful owner in the NFL. And when he wants something, he normally ends up getting his way. He might not get it right off the rip, as he did not get it this year. But as Roger Goodell said, and who does Roger Goodell work for? He works for the owners. Who's the most powerful owner? Jerry Jones. We're going to take another run at trying to get this thing banned next year. Obviously, it's in Jeffrey Lurie's best interest for a play that his team is really good at. It's in his best interest for him to make sure that he stands in front of the effort to stop it. And it's in Jerry Jones's best wrinkled interest for him to say, now, these guys have an advantage. We have to see them twice a year. They've already won 2 Super Bowls. The Cowboys hadn't won a Super Bowl in 95. We got to stop that. This is just a large-scale pissing contest between the 2 most powerful owners in the NFL. That's why this tush-push thing is being contested.
Yeah, Jerry's got bigger fish to fry. If you think you're losing to the Eagles because they have the tush push, you ain't been paying attention the last 10 years, bro. There's a reason they spank you every single time y'all play.
But now, when has Jerry Jones ever looked at his situation, looked inward, looked at his involvement with the Cowboys, and went, you know what? Maybe I'm the problem. When has Jerry Jones ever had the thought of taking care of his own business and not meddling in others' business?
Dude, the trajectory of Jerry Jones ownership is so Al Davis. It is insane. The difference is Al Davis actually did know what the hell he was doing and talking about at some point in his lifetime, which is why he's in the Hall of Fame. Jerry Jones thinks, you know what, a little knowledge is dangerous. It's a very cliche thing to say, but Jerry Jones thinks he knows way more than he actually does. And that's why
little knowledge with a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And the power that comes on with that lot of money is very, very dangerous. You are 100% right about that. 100% right about that. So, open up your third eye. This is not about, player safety. Okay. This is not about, well, it's not a football play. This is about power. And this is about 2 dudes who have no interest in Lurie and Jerry Jones, have absolutely no interest in allowing the other guy to win. That's exactly what this thing is all about. So,
yeah, too bad.
Yeah.
No matter what he thinks, taking away the tush push is not going to make you anywhere as good as the Eagles. You still won't have a chance.
No, you have a long way to go.
You won't have a chance.
So you know, you have an absolute long way to go before you do that. Did we have anything that we wanted to get into sports wise?
Let's hit the Kuminga.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr had some interesting comments.
He did. None of those comments surprised me whatsoever. What is it, to paraphrase? And he basically said, in the NBA, it's about fit. And Jonathan Kuminga's fits with Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy Butler, it's a puzzle. And that puzzle piece absolutely does not fit. They like Jonathan Kuminga. They like Jonathan Kuminga, the person. They are intrigued by what he has skill set wise and what he could end up being. But the way he plays basketball, Jonathan Kuminga, and again, I'm paraphrasing what Steve Kerr said to Tim Kawakami at The Athletic, that it just doesn't fit. And I don't necessarily disagree with him.
No, I don't disagree. All you got to do is watch him play.
Yeah.
All you got to do is watch him play. And you look at the things that he wants Kuminga to do, and none of those things have happened. And he's been there 4 years, and it hasn't gotten better. That's the intriguing part. It hasn't gotten better. He's a better scorer, but the other stuff, just not there. He doesn't rebound, doesn't pass, not a great shooter. He's not a connector, as I heard Steve Kerr say. And I get it, man.
Well, here's what's interesting to me is that there is and has been for a while, and it's going to come to a head now because Kuminga being a restricted free agent, there is a power struggle, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, going on, that Steve Kerr and Steph Curry are not fans of how Jonathan Kuminga plays. This is not a personal thing.
No.
I want to make that clear. But from a basketball standpoint, Steph and Steve, because they are together on this. Okay.
100%.
All right. What Steph Curry is cool with, Steve Kerr is cool with. And if Steph Curry has a hard time with Jonathan Kuminga on the floor when Steph's out there, that's a problem. And then when all of a sudden you bring in Jimmy Butler, and that makes Jonathan Kuminga's skill set, you just have a guy that does Jonathan Kuminga stuff better than Jonathan Kuminga. He's just older than Kuminga. It makes you obsolete if you're Kuminga. Problem is that Jonathan Kuminga has a very, very, very powerful ally in that organization. And it's the dude who might be willing to give Jonathan Kuminga a life-changing $100+ million contract extension in Joe Lacob. So this summer, it's obviously all going to come to a head. I wonder if Kuminga is valued outside of the Warriors as he is valued by Lacob, and would there be a team that would throw stupid money at Jonathan Kuminga? And I'm talking 180, 200 million. Would there be a team that would do that? Yeah. I have my doubts. I hope it does happen for the young man because I want him to get broken off something proper. But if that crazy contract does happen, does Joe Lacob say, that's my dude, we can't give up on him, y'all got to find a way to work with him, but we're going to keep him? Or is there not a groundswell of Jonathan Kuminga love out there? He's not going to get a big contract, and the Warriors can say, well, we'll just pay you, let's say $100 million. I'm just throwing numbers out there, right? Yeah. We'll pay you $100 million, and you got to love it or not. Don't matter.
Yeah, dude. I'm torn with Jonathan Kuminga because I like his talent. I should say I like his ability to get to the basket and put it in. Unfortunately, that's not all there is to being a really good basketball player. And the casuals will go, oh my God, he scored blah, blah, blah points. I'm like, yeah, but he ends up being a negative for your team at the end of the game. His plus minus for all 5 games in Minnesota, only one of them was he a plus. Every other one where he scored points in, he scored in all those games, but he was a negative. Yeah. And that's been his career. Even the game, you know what the Warriors record was when he started those few games before he got hurt? 5-8. He was starting. At some point, we just have to accept that, yeah, you know what? This dude is a guy who can score, but he may not be a guy who you go, let's get rid of everybody and build around Jonathan Kuminga. That's just not him.
No, I mean, listen, the overarching point is he doesn't mesh well with Steph from a basketball perspective. If he doesn't mesh well with the most important guy in your franchise, then that's a problem. That's a problem. And if he doesn't mesh well with guys who are going to have to be on the court because they're not going anywhere, and Draymond and Jimmy Butler, to me, the question answers itself. And again, this is not a personal thing. This is a strictly basketball thing. But if you have the head coach, the most important person is Steph Curry. Yeah. Your generational defensive player who, when he's right, helps you out offensively, and a guy in Jimmy Butler who you are now tied to for another couple of years. If their existence on the court is hampered by Jonathan Kuminga's existence on the court at the same time, then that's an issue.
Yeah, dude. I watch Kuminga play, and let me ask you this question: if you keep him, and there's a chance they keep him, and they do spring and pay him $30 million a year, which to me would be insane. But let's say they do pay him $30 million a year, $35 million a year. Where do you play him? How do you play him? Do you start him?
Dog, I don't know. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. But for $35 million a year in this hypothetical situation, that's starter money.
This is what I'm saying. So I think that were it me, I think the greatest consideration I would give Kuminga would be as a 6th man. Come off the bench. That way you don't have to worry about nothing but getting buckets. Because that's all he wants to do. He has a
but that's not who that's not who the Warriors are. Even if Steph Curry is not playing, you have to play with a certain way within what they do from a team offensive standpoint and a team defensive standpoint. Individually, Jonathan Kuminga is a one-on-one straight line player, and defensively, he's a guy that if he is tasked with guarding someone, he can do a really, really, really good job. But again, team offensive situations, team defensive situations, it gets a little bit dicey. So, I mean, the Warriors
he's turnover prone. He's like an easy guy to guard.
He is turnover prone, but a lot of Warriors are turnover prone.
But that was one of Steve Kerr's comments as well. He's like, listen, I've got Draymond Green and I've got Steph Curry, 2 guys who are going to turn the ball over a lot.
Can't have another one. I don't need no more of them. I don't need no more turnover brothers. I'm good. I'm good on the turnover brothers. Thank you very much. They traded Monte because he and Steph couldn't play together. Yeah, and who told you that? Monte Ellis told you that. And while it sucked for Monte Ellis, the correct decision was made. Right?
Yes, he had to go.
Yes.
By the way, I remember being one of the few people who was like, "No, this is a good trade." Are you kidding me? This is a good trade.
Well, the only thing, there were two things that made it a trade where Warrior fans can get behind it. First and foremost was Monte Ellis. They love Monte. All right, this is when Warrior fans were thirsting in the desert, and Monte Ellis was an oasis. And Monte Ellis, he made Warrior fans feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So trading a guy that Warrior fans could fall in love with and get behind, and he was legit, to have that guy traded, understandably, that hurt. Second part of that trade, bringing Andrew Bogut in. Because what was the first thing people said about Andrew Bogut? He's injury prone. Dude broke his ankle in 98 million places. Why are they trading for this guy? What you found out was that, yes, Steph and Monte couldn't play together. To unlock Steph, well, first off, you need to get rid of Mark Jackson. Secondly, Monte Ellis had to go, and the Warriors needed what they hadn't had before, and what, quite frankly, they're still searching for now.
Yes,
a big man.
And a specific kind of big man who can pass, who can defend.
Yep. Who was willing to pass and willing to defend.
And who can score a little bit, enough to make them dangerous.
Yep.
People forget Andrew Bogut was good.
Absolutely.
Before he got hurt.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He was balling.
And listen, he was good after he got hurt.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was.
But before he got hurt, before he had that ankle injury, Andrew Bogut was a really, really good player.
Mm-hmm.
And
you know what I think it was too, Rod? I think that, and this is a loser mentality. I hate to say it, but the Warriors have been losing so much up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
It was really hard to say we're going to trade away our one little shiny toy.
100%. And I understand it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the Warrior fans were thirsting in the desert. And all of a sudden you get Monte and you're like, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
Now we got a dude, right? We've been looking for a dude for a long time. Now we got a dude, and now we're trading him. And now we're trading to a guy who a lot of fans had heard of. And then when they did hear of him, it was, well, he had a serious ankle injury. So it was a rough time for Warrior fans, and it was a bad night for Joe Lacob, who got booed. But he was right.
Right.
He said they were going to hang banners, and they hung banners. And of course, you could never forget my old radio partner, Rick Barry.
Yeah.
Come on, this is crazy.
You know what? Let me bring this up.
You people, am I remembering that correctly? I know he did it. This is crazy. While Al Attles, rest in peace to the great Al Attles. While Al Attles, who had been seeing Rick get involved in situations that Al was going to have to somehow deal with
for decades.
I can see the picture in my mind where the look on Al Attles' face is like, I got to go get this dude again, as Rick had taken the mic and was admonishing 17,000 people for booing a guy who traded their favorite player.
They didn't see the vision.
Crazy.
They didn't have the vision. The fans didn't have the vision.
No.
I want to point out one other thing that we haven't really talked about this, but the idea that I'm not knocking Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson did a lot to set the defensive mindset of this team and to instill confidence in Clay and Steph and Draymond. But this team doesn't get those titles with Mark Jackson. I'm sorry.
No.
Hell no.
No.
I don't think so.
Absolutely
that offense, he was running that 90s ISO offense. He was taking Steph Curry out in fourth quarters.
Jack.
Steve Kerr came in and he created a system that unlocked Steph Curry.
And understand this forever and ever and ever. This is a truism. If Steph Curry did not like the ball movement, body movement offense, if he wanted the ball in his hands and to be a ball dominant guard, Steph Curry would get his way. Now, Steve Kerr probably wouldn't be the coach if that's the way that Steph Curry wanted to play. Steph is perfectly happy with the offense that they run.
That's right.
Because it has made him, Steph is going to be damn good anyway because of his ability to shoot.
Yep.
But what this offense has done, along with Curry's ability to shoot and along with Curry's greatness, this offense has allowed Steph Curry to become easily one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah,
right?
Man.
He's not going to have that if it's pick and roll. He's got the ball all the time, and he's got everybody who is on the opposition in charge of defending him, watching him. Of course, it limits him. Yeah, and anybody who thinks anything differently, I hate to be one of these people, but you don't know hoop.
Yeah.
You don't know hoop. And
You don't know
again,
what you're talking about.
this is the NBA.
Yeah.
Where the players have the power and have had it for a long, long time. All right. Yeah. Magic Johnson, Paul Westhead.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If a star player does not like the coach or does not like Michael Malone, we just saw it. If a star, I'm not saying that Jokic does not like Michael Malone. What I'm saying is that if the coach's time is not to be extended and there are players who don't like him, particularly the star player, you're gone. And if Steph had a problem with this offense and what Steve Kerr has brought and what they continue to run, if he had a problem with it, Steve Kerr would not be the head coach of the Golden State Warriors.
These are facts.
You got to know it.
Facts.
You got to know it.
You can't fire the team. So you can't fire the team. So the coach got to go.
Gotta go, as the great Robin Harris would say. It is Memorial Day weekend, and it is the unofficial beginning of summer. A lot of people getting out there and seeing the great United States, or even traveling this big, blue, wonderful marble we call Earth. And folks are doing this with our air traffic system, our air traffic control system, Marcus, has got problems. So a few weeks ago, you had the radar screens at Newark Airport outside of New York, one of the three major airports in New York City, the New York City area. It lost Newark radar contact with planes for 30 seconds to 3 minutes, which 30 seconds is an eternity. 3 minutes is the craziest shit I've ever heard. Their equipment is ancient. Shorting staffages at Newark, and those shorting staffages, staff shortages, you tried to say it in English. By the way, this is just water. I swear to God, I haven't been drinking. This is literally just water. But the staff shortages at Newark Liberty Airport for their air traffic controllers, it's not just a Newark problem. They had some problems in Denver a couple of weeks ago, and now we're finding out that in Houston, Bush Intercontinental and Hobby International Airport currently short-staffed on certified air traffic controllers. This, by the way, Marcus and everyone, is not just a United States problem. This is a world problem. Jesus. France's Civil Aviation Authority asked airlines to reduce flights by 40% at Paris Orly Airport. That's the other airport opposite Charles de Gaulle this past Sunday, after air traffic systems suffered a breakdown. Crazy. Oh no, this isn't frightening at all, Marcus.
Crazy. We're just not paying our air traffic controllers enough.
Not nearly enough. Air traffic controllers and teachers do not get paid nearly enough.
Man, I mean, we need the best of the best up in there. I think this all, it goes back to the Reagan years when they busted that union, and I think their air traffic controllers getting paid like $18 an hour at some point. It's crazy.
Come on, dog. That's wild, man.
That's nuts.
That's wild. But for this problem to be a global problem is definitely frightening. Oh, and by the way, just another airline related note that should scare the hell out of you as you get ready to travel this summer. The Justice Department and Boeing reached a deal allowing the airplane giant to avoid prosecution over 737 MAX crashes. Enjoy your summer, everybody. Travel safely.
Not the news I need. Not the news I need.
Marcus right now is in New Orleans. I guess you're going to be driving back to the Bay Area.
I might walk back just to be safe.
Hey, you might have to ride the dog. You might have to go Greyhound, bro.
What'd your boy Jay Stamps say? Greyhound and Amtrak stock about to boom. Way to go, Jay Stamps. Way to go, Jay Stamps.
You gonna have to ride the dog, baby, because yo, man. I mean, listen. Air travel is still the safest way to fly, or safest way to travel. Flying is the safest way to travel. How about we keep it that way?
Huh? I would like to.
How about we just? How about it's just we make sure that it's very important that that we keep it that way.
Right. I don't like to fly anyway. Like, I really don't enjoy the
because it's not fun by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, and when you start hitting that turbulence and all that stuff, like everything you ever did starts running through your mind. I wish I hadn't done that chick that way.
You have your own personal come to Jesus.
Yeah, you can start going to that Rolodex in your head, all the bad stuff you did.
All of a sudden, Marcus here's flight attendants. Will you please take your seats? And he's like, man, I should call Keisha and apologize.
Yes,
I shouldn't have left
exactly.
her. I shouldn't have left her on stuck like that.
let me send a text. Let me send this text real quick. I got 75 texts I need to send
I
out.
have some wrongs that I need to right because I don't want to die today.
Oh man.
So yeah, our air traffic control system in this country and in others is not where it needs to be, and gas is higher than cocaine. So yeah, this is great. No, everything is absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Want to get into this? Well, not necessarily the Diddy trial, but let's talk about what is what is hip hop and what is keeping it real and what is snitching and what is doing what you're supposed to do. Diddy trial's happening right now, and it's pretty salacious. And I don't necessarily want to get into all that stuff, but I wanted to get into something that's been sort of popping on social media and people talking about, as Marcus mentioned, Kid Cudi, who had the misfortune of being in Diddy's crosshairs a few years ago when Cudi was dating Cassie. And Cudi testified in court yesterday that Diddy threatened him, threw a Molotov cocktail in his Porsche, which is some real supervillain type stuff. Also, Diddy broke into Cudi's house and locked his dog in a bathroom.
This dude.
Yeah, just wilding out there. Cudi did go
Kingpin type shit. That's what. Like a Daredevil episode.
Yeah. Cudi did talk after he testified to thank the folks who supported him.
They hit me up the past week, just checking in, and even today, and it really means a lot to me, man. You guys are the best. I love y'all. This is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me. And yeah.
Man said it was a stressful situation. I'm going to show you a picture that is the photographic representation of a man under stress. This is Cudi. So what we're looking at right now, the video, what we just looked at is Cudi after testifying. He doesn't look happy, but he looks relieved.
Yeah.
This is walking into the courtroom before testifying yesterday.
Yeah, that's
man's is stressed. All right. Yeah. He is pulling on that heater with the weight of 1,000 elephants.
This is how every mob trial looks to me. Every mob trial looks like this to me.
Man's right now is going through it. So Cudi, who by the way was subpoenaed. Okay, he didn't run to the court, be like, "Oh, me, I got a story to tell." He was subpoenaed. All right, he didn't have a choice. He went to the courtroom and testified, and of course, you got a bunch of jackasses out there, including Young Thug. Thug. By the way, Young Thug, good rapper name. You can use it. Young Thug, who by the way beat a RICO charge. Young Thug, others call Cudi a rat for testifying. Saying he's snitching, saying it's in hip hop, saying you shouldn't have done. People. Man basically tried to kill him. Okay, you try to kill me, I'm telling.
Don't listen. I'm a middle-aged man. I ain't got time to be trying to hunt you down with the boys, none of that stuff. I'm telling. When I get into court, I'm telling you tried to blow up my car. I'm telling you broke into my house. I'm telling you stood in my window like a supervillain.
I'm telling you locked my dog in the bathroom.
I'm telling. I don't care. You can call me a snitch because you know what? I am snitching. That's exactly what I'm doing.
I'm snitching on you about what you did to me.
Snitching.
Okay? Right?
I'm
That's
too
what
famous to
thinking
I'm
of.
too famous to murder you myself, so I need to get you in jail. I need to get some get back.
I would like to smoke cigarettes without stress. Okay. So I'm going to need you, the person that threw a Molotov cocktail into my luxury automobile and locked my dog in the bathroom. I'm going to need you to be behind bars for a long time so I can get my max and relax on.
And the funny thing is that, I mean, from my standpoint, that was about the most harmless thing of all the things that Diddy's been accused of. That's about the most harmless of all of them. Oh, he just broke into your house.
Well,
and
you did
stood-
lock his dog in the bathroom. I mean,
He
that's
locked the
it.
dog in the bathroom. He did call him up and say, I'm at your house waiting for you. That's real supervillain type shit.
Very much so.
You have the ultimate supervillain arrogance to call me up from my house to tell me that you were waiting at my house for me to get there. What are we doing?
No, sick individual. And if you're thinking that testifying is snitching, then this probably isn't the program for you, because that's ridiculous behavior.
There are some times where you need to snitch, like for real. There's some times you need to snitch.
I mean, you try to kill me or you lock my dog in the bathroom.
That's
I'm
a good
telling,
time.
okay,
That's a good time.
I'm telling. All right, you're not gonna hurt my feelings by calling me a snitch, by
You know
calling
what?
me a rat.
Life-
I'm a grown ass man. I've been
life-
called worse.
Life is short until you get in that jail. It's long. It's long.
Hey, which brings us to our next topic as we move along here in this Friday edition of Quality Hang. My new favorite obsession, and if you know me or you've been quality hanging with us for a while, you know that I will grasp onto things and I won't let go because I have the emotional intelligence of a child. These escaped prisoners in New Orleans, they escaped last week. 10 of them escaped, as you can see by this graphic if you're watching Quality Hang on YouTube and on X. 5 of these escapees have been captured. There's still 5 on the run in New Orleans, Louisiana, where Marcus is right. Yo, man, are you down there bounty hunting? Is that why you went to New Orleans this weekend?
Absolutely not. I'm looking at
you making some extra coin bounty hunting? Is that what you're doing, dog?
Not these dudes. You see them? I ain't hunting these dudes at all.
You're not trying to find Antoine T. Massey, he with the face tattoos. You're not trying to locate old boy.
By the way, Rod, I don't know if you've noticed this, but 3 of these 5 dudes, light-skinned gangsters. One of them ambiguously light-skinned, and then the other one is just a regular.
Well, I mean, again, we are talking New Orleans. We are talking Louisiana. We're talking Creole. We're talking Cajun. I mean, you know, it don't get no more jumbled up than cats down in New Orleans. So it was last Friday, I think, or last Thursday or Friday, these guys escaped. 5 of them have been captured, and if watching, you see this graphic of where the jail is in New Orleans, which is literally right in the middle of New Orleans, and you see where some of these guys got caught. One guy got caught sleeping on a park bench in the east side of New Orleans. Another guy got caught out on the stroll on Chef Mentor in far New Orleans east. But you see 3 guys got caught right around the French Quarter. Yeah. One guy got caught literally in the French Quarter, other 2 outside. One guy got caught in Tremé, and another one got caught a little bit farther out. So we were talking about this before the show started. Clearly, these guys didn't have a plan, and clearly these guys are dead enders. A couple of them are murderers. So they were like, yeah, we know that we got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
But we got a chance to get out and get some freedom. Might as well.
I got a week of at least a week of PTO right about now. I'm going to take that.
Hey man, if I'm in jail on a murder charge and somebody like, we gonna break out of here tonight, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I'm coming back. Yeah. What are they gonna give me more years? So I might as well just go ahead and take my shot at it.
Yeah. No, I'm doing it. I understand.
Although I will say this. The fact that you are caught so close to basically where you live is, to me, insane. Because if I'm breaking out with the intent on not getting caught. So sure, I know I'm on PTO. The odds are I'm going to get caught and I'm going to get sent back within a week or 2. But I'm still going to try my best to at least get out the state.
Yeah, but if you're on foot, you got no money. you got no car. I mean, there are ways to acquire it, which I'm guessing these guys have been involved in acquiring cars and money that is not theirs or they don't possess. If you haven't, if you haven't gotten transportation or if you haven't gotten people to help you, you're probably just like, damn, now I'm out. Like it's that old Roadrunner cartoon where the coyote finally caught up to the Roadrunner, and he was like, damn, what do I do now?
What do I do now?
I promise you, out of these 10 guys, 3 of them, once they got out, especially the guy that got caught right in the French Quarter, less than a mile away from the jail, he caught the Roadrunner, and he's like, I don't know what to do now. I ain't got no money for no hand grenades. It's not like go to Pat O'Brien's and get me a couple of hurricanes. I don't know what to do now with this.
The coldest part of the game, Rod. The coldest part is that one of these dudes got his grandma thrown in jail because she was an accomplice.
Oh, not Big Mama. No.
Grandma thrown in jail.
No, not Mima thrown in jail because you escaped from jail. Oh, that ain't right.
By the way, you grown enough, Grandma, to know better.
Hey.
You know better.
She might not be. You know how we got grandmas now that are 38, 39 years old. She might not be.
Right.
So
that's true. That's very true.
I'm just putting it out there. They're not, they're not the gentle, sweet grandmamas that
I did watch Griselda, so yeah, it can happen.
See, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly. Yeah. And by the way, that goes past all racial boundaries. That's
facts.
That's
facts. By the way, for those of you out there who watch Kanan, I think this is the last season, but my girl Raquel, that's what I think about when I think about that grandma. I think about her. Y'all know who I'm talking about. As you were, Rod.
Let's see here. What else we got? Sad news today in the world of music. Billy Joel had to cancel a bunch of concert dates through next summer. One of those dates was going to be at Levi Stadium down in Santa Clara here in the Bay Area. He canceled those shows, Billy Joel did, because he has been diagnosed with a brain disorder. I'm not going to try to pronounce the medical word, but a brain disorder that causes issues with hearing, vision, and balance. He's focusing on treatment and recovery, obviously, as he canceled this upcoming tour. Hate to hear that because that sounds damn serious, Marcus.
Yeah, man, that's a career ender. Vision, hearing, and balance. If you're a musician, pretty much it's a wrap.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
hopefully he comes back from it, but
that's hard if you're not a musician. You can just be a regular dude, and if all of a sudden hearing, vision, and balance is a problem,
sure,
you are not leaving a chair or a bed. So best of luck and speedy recovery. And obviously Billy Joel's not going to hear this. I don't know. Maybe he will. I shouldn't think that way. But hey, man, forget about playing Piano Man for us. Focus on you. You've done enough. And I'm a big Billy Joel fan. I think I
like Billy Joel a lot, bro. I like him a lot.
Easily one of the greatest songwriters this country has ever produced. And I found
Don't at me. Billy Joel is one of the great American songwriters of all time.
100%. I'm going to hold something up here to the camera, and I don't know if it's going to, but this is
a concert ticket.
You can't read that ticket. Well, maybe you can. Hang on. It's a little bit too light. But this is a show I went to, and it's one of the best concerts I've ever seen. You can't see it. April 5th, 1995 at Rice Stadium in Houston, Texas. I saw Billy Joel and Elton John. And it was called the Face to Face Tour. And
I remember that tour.
Elton John, I forget who came out first. I think it was Elton John. Elton John came out first, and I love me some Elton John. Did some Elton John hits. Billy Joel came out, had both pianos out there. Billy Joel joined Elton John for a little bit. Then Elton finished his set, and then they flipped the script. Billy Joel came out last, did some Billy Joel. Elton John came out, did some Billy Joel with Elton John, and or did some Billy Joel with Billy Joel. And then Elton left, Billy Joel finished, and I think they had a big old grand finale. But I thought about that show when I saw that news about Billy Joel, and I wanted to see him again, and I was
Yeah.
hoping to be able to get tickets to see him when he came to Levi's for this tour that obviously is now and understandably being canceled. But I'm glad I got a chance to see him because, like I said,
Yeah,
to me he is an American entertainment icon easily.
Yeah. When I saw, so I was 18, 19, so I was 19 when I saw Billy Joel, the first and only time I've seen Billy Joel, and obviously his catalog is insane.
Mhm.
What I was most struck by was how good a live performer he is. Really good live performer.
Yeah, I've seen
Funny,
some videos of his
engaging.
residency at Madison Square Garden,
Mhm.
and I mean it's good. It is really good.
Yeah, really good performer. Young people, go and check out Billy Joel. Go check out the Billy Joel catalog. Some good stuff up in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So prayers up to Billy Joel. Another one of my favorite artists, Foo Fighters,
Oh.
getting back into the mix, and they're going to start touring in Asia later this year. And I saw this earlier today that they're going to Indonesia. And Indonesia is a very strict country. They don't allow no tomfoolery in
No.
Indonesia. Okay, you will get detained and done up by the authorities there. But the Foo Fighters have been given permission to cuss, smoke, and drink during their performance in the capital of Indonesia, Jakarta. I say this to the Foo Fighters because this seems to me like a trap. This is like when my mama said, like, "Oh no, you can cuss," and then I cussed, and then she slapped me across the face. I'm just saying to the Foo Fighters, you might not want to be cussing, smoking, and drinking in Indonesia because this sounds like you're being set up for the dummy move. Right? Just keep it straight, get in, play my hero, get out. But if Dave Grohl is thinking he's going to be with the filth, floor, and filth, and he'll get out of there unscathed, I'm just saying, brother, might not be the move, man. Might not be the move.
I like it. I think that this is the international standard for checking in. This is how you do it when you are a rock band and you got to check in.
I mean, when you go to a foreign country, you do need to be on your P's and Q's, and you need to find out, hey, yo, how do you move in this country?
Yeah.
Okay?
Can I smoke weed? Can I drink booze? Can I drop a couple of F-bombs?
No.
Are we cool?
No. And even if they give you permission, be like, nah, I'm good. Nah, all right. I'm cool.
You gotta be like Chris Tucker, for real? For real?
You sure about that?
For real?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
That's great.
On this date, one of my favorite parts of this show, on this date, May 23rd, Marcus.
Yes.
The Shining premiered in 1980.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies. I got to the game late with The Shining. I saw it for the first time about 5 years ago. And I have been mildly fascinated with it ever since. And if you know the movie, I'm sure you've heard the conspiracy theories that Stanley Kubrick confessed to faking the moon landing with NASA, with certain shots and costume choices in The Shining. It's a beautifully shot movie. Obviously, Jack Nicholson's performance is outstanding. That's the Here's Johnny part of it.
Yep.
Shelley Duvall, I thought, was great, and
she was amazing.
She was amazing in her put upon, damsel in distress, if you will, in that movie. It's just one of my favorite movies, and it came out on this day in 1980.
I think Shelley Duvall passed. Did she?
She did. She did.
Okay.
Shelley Duvall, Texas girl. She passed away last year. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the end of her life was not a pretty thing, and it's really sad. Actually, really sad. The way her world ended. Yeah.
Yeah. Also on this date in 1985. Eddie Murphy. I knew you would love this. Eddie Murphy released Party All the Time on this date in 1985. This song was brought to you by Rick James, Eddie Murphy, and cocaine. I don't know if Eddie was partaking in the
I don't think Eddie
Colombian
was.
marching powder.
But Ricky
Yeah,
was.
he's notoriously in Hollywood been known as, you know, a guy that didn't party. Rick James, however, I'm sure did enough blow for the two of them. And if you listen to the song with sort of a cocaine tinged ear, you can hear the cocaine liberally sprinkled all over that track. This was when Eddie Murphy could literally do anything.
Yep.
1985. And do you know what Eddie Murphy did in 1985? Literally anything he wanted. Yep. That's how we ended up with Party All the Time.
Yep. It's oh my God. So Eddie was such a big fan of Rick James and Prince and Michael Jackson. Eddie will tell you that he really wanted to be a singer. Like
Absolutely.
He really wanted to be a singer. The comedy thing took off, but he wanted to be a singer. And apparently he do this like Prince. Like he's got a bunch of songs in the vault that nobody's ever heard. And some people say, yeah, he should drop those. But listen, Eddie Murphy, one of the all-time great comedic actors, one of the all-time great stand-ups.
Yes, sir.
But as a musician, you got Party All the Time, and you got that other one, I Was a King. I was a king, and he was all white on stage.
Do you remember what's the other one? No, he did one that was worse than Party All the Time.
Oh, Put Your Mouth on Me.
Put Your Mouth on Me. Again, in the mid-'80s, Eddie Murphy could do
mouth on me.
anything he wanted to do. And in the mid-'80s, Eddie Murphy did anything he wanted to do. And there's a line in the song, Put Your Mouth on Me, where Eddie Murphy says, use your mouth, not your teeth.
Yeah, it could be Eddie. He can't do it. He can't do it without being funny. He can't do it. And here's the other thing, Rod. That song, again, he worked with the great producer Rick James, but he also one of the greatest producers of all time, and Narada Michael Walden. Produced that song.
Yeah.
And like, how did you let him out? How do you let him out of the studio with that?
It was the 80s, man.
Yeah, you got to say no to sometimes, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, but yo, when that coke is flowing, ain't nobody saying no.
Eddie, you're amazing.
Ain't nobody saying no. Absolutely. It is impossible to say no when you are gacked out on cocaine. It is absolutely impossible. It is always more.
Oh, you want to hear another little weird fact?
Lay it on.
Because Eddie Murphy, he literally he decided to change his laugh. So his signature laugh, like his natural laugh, he does not laugh that way anymore. He stopped it completely. He said he had to change it. He got sick of people coming up to him doing it. And he said, people don't realize it, but I don't laugh like that anymore. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. He doesn't. And I'm so disappointed. So disappointed.
You remember one of my favorite movies? God damn it, now I'm blanking on it. Hollywood Shuffle.
Yeah.
And Robert Townsend, the great director of Hollywood Shuffle, he is called into an audition, and they are looking in that audition that Robert Townsend's character is in for an Eddie Murphy type. And there are a bunch of guys in black leather suits, just like the one we're looking at on the cover of this Party All the Time single. They're all wearing the black leather suits, and they're all doing the Eddie Murphy impression. I'm pretty sure Eddie Murphy saw that and went, yeah, I'm going to change this laugh. I got all the money. I'm the hottest movie star in the world. I got all the women, yet I got this goofy ass laugh that they're lampooning. I'm changing that laugh.
That's too
promise
bad.
you that's when it went down.
That's so too bad because, man, I think when you're such an amazing comedian, like everything about you. Remember, there was a time where Eddie Murphy, you would just look at him and you just start laughing.
Oh, I still do that. I still do that.
Laughing.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
That's a power that very few comics have.
100%, Mark.
Before you even open their mouth, you're already laughing.
Well, because you know they're gonna say something funny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, Bernie Mac was that way. For me, Robin Harris was that way for me.
Robin Harris.
Roy Wood Jr. is that way for me.
Chappelle makes me laugh like that.
Of course, yeah. You just like you either know you're about to get something funny, or you look. So you look at this picture of Eddie Murphy we have on the screen, and what are you thinking? She's a Bigfoot, Gus. She's got a mustache, Gus. You either think that person's going to say something funny, and you're more than likely going to be right about that, or you're thinking of something funny that person said that still resonates with you to this day. And yeah, Jay Stamps is absolutely right on this. David Allen Greer,
Woo,
has that quality, and DC is having flashbacks of the Golden Child.
I want the night.
I want to see.
I think what people don't know, Rod, is that you and I are insanely huge stand-up comedy fans.
Yes.
I talk about, if I had the money, I would do a Richard Pryor documentary that is befitting of a legend like Richard Pryor. Every documentary I've seen of Richard Pryor has always left me lacking. I'm like, this is not good enough.
Yeah,
I cried when Richard Pryor died. When he died.
Man, what did I see yesterday? It was the anniversary of Brewster's Millions coming out. I think an underrated Richard Pryor movie, and one that he did later in his
Richard Pryor is the stand-up comedy blueprint, and I don't think enough people understand that. But there's comedy before Richard Pryor, and there's comedy post Richard Pryor. Everything before Rich, it was all a bunch of one-liners, and you had Dick Gregory and you had Bill Cosby. Richard Pryor was the first stand-up who really made stand-up comedy autobiographical.
A literal game changer, and people are still chasing that ghost. People are still measuring themselves up to, or trying to anyway, and rightfully so, to Richard Pryor. He was just that influential. And where did Richard Pryor make that turn? Because he was the buttoned-up stand-up
California,
comic.
baby.
He made that turn in Oakland and Berkeley. Mm-hmm. He went to Oakland and Berkeley in the early 70s and got turned out.
Yep.
And ended up being
the magic.
and ended up being the Richard Pryor that the world fell in love with. And I think, unfortunately, though, ultimately the Richard Pryor that ended up engaging in so much self-destructive behavior that cut his career short. His movie career could have been a lot bigger. He was supposed to be in Blazing Saddles. He was supposed to be Cleavon Little, but he was too drugged out for the studio's liking. And it worked out great. I mean, Cleavon Little and Blazing Saddles, I mean, is iconic. But
and Rich still got credit as a writer on that movie.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, that was, that's the kind of stuff that was holding him back then. One more on this date, May 23rd. I present to you the uninitiated Real Hoops.
Some crazy fans here throwing ice on the court to delay the game and prevent further trouble.
Pistons, Game 3.
Laimbeer and Bird have both been ejected as a result of fighting fouls. Larry Bird and Bill Laimbeer have both been ejected from the game.
This is the best part.
Now there's Bird throwing the ball at Laimbeer and Rodman coming over at Bird.
Bird would not have been ejected if he hadn't thrown the ball at Laimbeer.
That's exactly right. And Bird is the consummate cool player, so he blew completely on that play. And look at the scratch.
Look at Larry. Just another day at the office.
Larry Joe Bird, coldest white boy of all time.
Listen,
understand that.
This is what I hate, having these conversations with the young people. When they say that Larry Bird wasn't that good, or now they're saying that Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan wasn't that good.
Well, you know what that gets people who say that? That's going to get you the Gucci Mane face, okay? You can't say nothing like that and not get the Gucci Mane face. Because when you say that Larry wasn't that good, that Magic wasn't that good, that Mike wasn't that good, that means you didn't see him. And it means you're talking about something you didn't see, that you are not educated on. And that gets you the Gucci Mane face.
Hardcore. I heard a kid say that Magic Johnson wouldn't be great today because teams would sag off of him and let him shoot.
Do you mean the guy that turned himself into a more than decent shooter? A guy that turned himself into, if you left him behind the three-point line, back in the day when the guys didn't shoot threes, Magic would dot your eye with a three-pointer? I'm not even a Laker fan, but that's ridiculous. And that's why children shouldn't be listened to. You get the Gucci Mane face for saying dumb shit like that.
These are facts.
God, talking about. This makes me want to fight people. I want to play that video one more time. And just to illustrate a couple of things, Laimbeer and all of the Pistons, quite frankly, just a bunch of assholes, first and foremost. And watch the foul, because and I think it was Bill Burr I heard say this about the Pistons. They always had this bad boy, or, we're just physical, we're physical, and that's how we win games. Like, no, you're just out there beating people up.
That I wouldn't disagree.
And then when you ran across teams that were skilled, like the Celtics were before they got old, and then like the Bulls eventually turned out to be with Jordan, when they had when their bully antics and their physical nature didn't win them, they just sulked off the court like a bunch of chumps. But I just want to play this again. I'm going to turn it down here because it's a little bit too loud. I just want to play this again. Watch the foul and watch how Laimbeer, who's trying to hurt Bird, almost ends up hurting Dennis Rodman's knee and ankle. Watch this.
Now we got some crazy fans here throwing ice on.
He comes down
to delay the game
on Dennis Rodman's leg.
Trouble.
Oh, look at Jerry Seasting,
who got popped by Ralph
Laimbeer
Sampson in the
and
86
Bird
finals. I
have
remember
both
that.
been ejected.
Yeah.
One of the games
As a
the
result
Rockets
of
won in that
fighting
finals.
fouls.
But watch when they
Larry
show.
Bird
Well, this
and
is
Bill
always good to
Laimbeer
watch
have
again.
both been ejected
The
from
accuracy
game.
on Larry Bird picking that ball up and whapa right in the
Good
nose.
job.
Pretty good.
Rodman coming over
But now watch this.
Bird was
Laimbeer
been
grabs
ejected.
Bird
had
and then
thrown
he
the ball
falls
at
on Dennis
Laimbeer.
Rodman's leg. Look at the
Yep. He could have
look at
broke
the
his
pain
shit.
on Rodman's face.
He could have broke his shit.
It's the kind of dumb shit that Laimbeer and the Pistons got away with back in the day, and they were then and are still thought of as one of the great NBA teams. They were a bunch of thin-skinned bullies out there, is what they were.
They were bullies, but they were really, really, really.
I mean, Isaiah was good.
They were
Isaiah,
really
Isaiah,
good.
one of the greats. Dumar's one of the great defenders. Obviously,
Man.
Dennis Rodman. This is before he turned into the Dennis Rodman. But Dennis
Yeah.
Rodman, as a defender and a rebounder,
And you
back
have-
then you'd never
You had
seen
Vinny
anything
come
like
off
that
the
before.
bench.
Yeah.
I mean, and listen, even Laimbeer, like say what you want about Laimbeer, but like he could play today.
Oh, absolutely, he
play
could. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah. There's no doubt about that. He's still being an
I would
asshole.
hate him, but he could play today. Oh, by the way, Mark asked, what would Magic average points wise if he had just looked to score? He would have been 25 to 30.
Easily.
25 to 30.
Come on,
Magic, I don't think Magic didn't score more than 19, 20 points a game in the season because he chose not to.
That's dumb stuff to say that Magic could not play today. That
Yeah.
is that you say that to me, that means you're unintelligent and you don't know hoops.
Mhm.
And like I said, we don't need to converse if that is happening. Thank you. My screen was frozen. I got so exercised by that conversation that I didn't notice that my screen was frozen. Anyway, rest in peace as we wrap this up
Oh, yeah.
to George Wendt.
Yeah, man.
Norm from Cheers.
This is when you need the Cheers theme, Rod. Damn.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Making the way in the world. No, I'm not going to sing. But I don't need to sing it. Everybody knows the Cheers theme. It's in your head already. But yeah, George Wendt passed away a couple of days ago on May 20th.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah,
something interesting. The Cheers finale
Yeah.
aired in 1993
Mm-hmm.
on May 20th.
Get out of here. Oh, okay.
That is a true statement. That is an absolute fact.
Listen, there were a couple of shows, Cheers, Taxi. There was one called Soap that was on ABC. Three's Company. Just certain shows I can watch no matter when they're on, where they're on. Cheers.
Yeah.
Norm has to be one of the 5 most beloved characters in the history of television.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That entrance is iconic.
Yeah.
And it never ever got old. And if you watch the show, or even if you didn't watch the show, but you know of the Norm entrance to the bar at Cheers, you have a favorite Norm entrance into the bar at Cheers. And my favorite is always, I think it's Woody that asks him as he walks in after everybody, of course, yells, Norm. Woody asks him, what's up, Mr. Peterson? And he goes, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing Milk-Bone underwear. Perfect.
He has so I posted this thing the other day. It's literally every single Norm entrance in the history of Cheers, and it's about 20 minutes long. And the question is, did I watch all 20 minutes? Yes. Yes, I did.
And it was
Every
20 minutes
single one.
well spent, right?
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Some of them even, listen, the other cool thing is that these aren't dated jokes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? These are not like jokes. These are evergreen jokes, and they kill every time.
No, Cheers, one of my favorite sitcoms. I can watch it over and over. Cheers, Martin, The Jeffersons.
Come
Like
on,
I can watch those over and over and over again, and I will laugh because I know the joke is coming, and then I'll get the joke, and I'll laugh like it's the first time I heard the joke. That's,
And
you know it's good.
You see the Normisms coming in? What's
For folks who are listening, what's shaking, Norm? 2 cheeks and a couple of chins. It's so good. So good, man. So good.
That's a good one.
And by all accounts, George Wendt was a wonderful guy who didn't mind people coming up to him yelling Norm. He was beloved by people who worked with him and by people who met him. So
the uncle of Jason Sudeikis, by the way.
I heard that. I did not know that. Yeah. So it was a bummer to hear that. That George Wendt had passed away. Yeah, Martin and Living Single. That's Living Single, another one. And watch it over and over again. Over and over again.
Religiously.
Let's wrap this bad boy up on this Friday before Memorial Day, first summer 3-day weekend. And we always wrap up Quality Hang with the best thing I've heard today. And the best thing I've heard today was that the University Marcus of Pacific in Stockton, California, with cost cutting happening at college campuses around the country, they're cutting sports programs. And this is happening not just at small schools, but in big schools as well. Now, Title IX is kind of keeping some of it at bay, but it's happening. Stanford, which has billions of dollars in an endowment, Stanford is cutting sports. Sonoma State is cutting, I think, all sports. Cal almost lost its baseball team a few years ago. Well, the University of Pacific, Marcus, is actually adding some sports.
Oh, cool.
They're adding men's cross country, some track and field sports, and they're bringing back at the University of Pacific men's and women's diving. So in an age where athletic departments around the country are either cutting sports or cutting staff, or universities are just cutting sports out altogether because they say they cannot afford them, to hear that the University of Pacific is actually going to add some sports. And these are not revenue generating sports,
right?
But to see that they're going to add some sports at the University of Pacific, to me, Marcus, that's the best thing that I've heard today.
Very, very cool. I really love hearing that. That's awesome, man. Best thing I heard today
was that,
and the worst thing I heard today. It comes from courtesy of Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh boy!
Are you
I know where you're going. Jesus. Oh, come on!
Offered the Today host, NBC's Today host, Craig Melvin. So Shaq was on promoting whatever it is Shaq was promoting. He's always promoting something, but he brought on a gigantic bowl of gummies, and he offered Craig Melvin $1 million in cash if he ate that entire bowl in 30 seconds. The worst thing of the day is Craig was like, nah, I'm good. The best thing is that Shaq was like dead serious. There's a Bank of America across the street. I will walk you over there if you can eat this in 30 seconds. So I'm very disappointed in Craig Melvin, but it is the best thing I heard today. And I would love to have that offer made to me, because I may not be able to finish this big ass bowl of gummy bears, but your boy is giving it a shot.
A couple of things here. I did not know you were going that way. I thought you were going to mention that Shaq admitted when he ran off the inside the NBA set a few weeks ago, he didn't have to go number one. He had an emergency out of the back of the airplane, and he had to go take care of it. Shaq admitted that he had to boo-boo.
Yeah,
he admitted that on the Today Show. I thought you were going there. My question is, were those weed gummies, or were they
were
just
not?
Regular? So old boy didn't for $1 million.
This is what I'm saying.
Oh, man,
I would make the attempt. Shaq is saying, and you know he got it.
What you mean attempt? I'm doing it.
I'm doing it. I'm like, why didn't you take this deal? I'm going to try to. I may not finish him. The bowl was pretty big. But he said you got 30 seconds to eat all of them. It's a whole thing going on where I'm just shoveling gummies in my mouth to get that million.
No, for $1 million, I'm giving that the old college try. I will absolutely debase myself on national television for $1 million.
To eat some gummies? Yeah, I'm giving it a shot.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say they were weed gummies, and Shaq was trying to dose old boy.
Now
have him tripping balls on America's favorite morning news program.
No, then I would pay Shaq to let me eat the gummies.
Oh man, folks, active in the comments. I think because folks are really getting active in the comments. They're calling themselves the Quality Hangers. I also think because it's a Friday night. And it's the beginning of summer, and it's the beginning of the first 3-day weekend of the summer. The folks just active in the comments. We absolutely love that. We thank you for getting active and being a part of the show, but also having your own little side comments in the comment section. We think that
they are funny.
Cool. They are very, very funny. You guys add to the show, and that's exactly what we want. And we, as always, in the show, by telling you that we are proudly sponsored by the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from in Sebastopol, Sonoma, and in Novato. Excellent food, excellent craft beer selection, and live music at all 3 venues. And check out what they have coming up schedule-wise with live music at hopmonk.com. And again, proud to be a part of the Bay Area Sports Collective family. That was made official yesterday. So down with Tom Tolbert and Paulie Max Particles and John Lund, Unleashed, and also Amy G getting involved, Jeremy Affelt, former Giants pitcher, and of course Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. We are building something pretty cool, and glad that you're a part of it. And tell a friend, tell an enemy. We don't care. Indeed. Just let the folks know that the Bay Area Sports Collective, to steal a line from Deion Sanders, we coming. I don't know why I had to yell that. That seemed very unnecessary.
Because it's Deion Sanders. That's the only way you could deliver it.
I guess so. My brother.
Florida boys, you got to yell.
It's Stone Groove as always, my man. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your time in New Orleans. And let's do it again on Monday night. How about it?
Let's do it, baby.
All right, everybody. We really do appreciate you hanging out with us on Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And before we go, as always, we'd like to tell you, be good and be good at it. We'll see you.